Hello, everyone, and welcome back to GAA Fan TV. My name is Aaron Prendergast, and this is the instant match reaction after Donegal have beaten Tyrone by a scoreline of 2-10 to 12 points. Donegal are back. It's early days. It's early days, but this is certainly the Donegal that I remember was up and coming. That was certainly on the trail of the Dubs in 2019, 2020. And look, early days in the league, yeah, still a bit to go. I mean, it's not that early days. I mean, geez, we're halfway through now. We're nearly at the end of the league, but this was a lot better from Donegal. This was much improved, in my opinion. If you're going to play that short hand passing game, if you're going to play that running game, this is how you do it. This is how you do it, and you play with pace. You play with urgency, fast movement. Lots of hand passes in there, direct running, causing problems for the defenders that they're coming up against, and it can cause havoc. It can cause problems, and it was a real sort of chaos, really, that Donegal sort of created for this Tyrone team at different times, and it was very, very difficult for Tyrone to deal with. And in many ways, almost a game of two halves, because Donegal in the first half started quite well, kicked a couple of early points. Obviously, interesting enough, both sides actually done better going against the breeze, funnily enough, which is actually not the first time that's happened this year in a couple of games, which is quite interesting. But Donegal, yeah, they done a lot better in the second half, but in the first half starting out, obviously, with the breeze, they probably didn't take full initiative. They started quite well. They kicked 3 points early on, but there was a long barren spell really in the first half from the 12th minute right up until the goal from Conor O'Donnell. I have to make sure I get the right O'Donnell there, because Jesus, there's about 10 of them in the team. But Conor O'Donnell gets that goal right before half time, and that was really the turning point in this game, because Donegal really up until then, like between the 12th and 36th minute, they did seem to fall back into. I think maybe there's been a little bit of a confidence issue, maybe a little bit within this Donegal team. They look like maybe at times they're lacking a little bit of belief within themselves, and maybe a win like this might be the turning point that they need, because we seen that when they were being direct and when they were running off the shoulder, and getting that ball inside, you could see that it was causing problems. And look, they have some quality footballers in the team. Paddy McBrearty with 2 points today. He was exceptional at different stages in the game. Difficult game for him, no doubt about it. He was marked out of the game in many ways, but I still felt that he done quite well. Look, you still have Michael Murphy maybe to come back in at some stage, Michael Langan to come back in, Oisin Gallen, good to see him coming off the bench as well. And Conor O'Donnell in a full forward with 1-3. He was exceptional. He was absolutely brilliant. So, I think for Donegal, there's a lot of positives there, and there's a lot to be positive about after this victory and after this win. But as I was saying, just in the first half, when Tyrone started to build up a bit of a lead, they led by 7 points to 3. You could see Donegal. It started to remind me a little bit of the Kerry game, where they were passing it from side to side. There wasn't really much movement. Players afraid to take a risk, afraid to take a chance, afraid of making that mistake, but they worked the ball really, really well. I think I counted nearly 20 passes in total right before that goal from Conor O'Donnell. Really, really well worked goal, right place, right time. And, Donegal go in at half-time level, and having not played well in parts in the first half, they start quite well, but certainly in the second quarter of the first half, if you want to say, they definitely did struggle, and Tyrone started to cause all sorts of problems and all sorts of damage. Especially when the Tyrone created a couple of goal chances, and again, Tyrone maybe missing a couple of goal chances there that on another day, might have maybe changed the outcome of this game. But second half, no doubt about it, they Donegal really came out and just started taking their chances a lot more, and they were clinical. They were shooting in the right areas as well. There was no shooting from tough angles, ridiculous angles, or anything like that. They were working that ball inside, and Conor O'Donnell was brilliant. Jason McGee was fantastic in around the middle. But defensively as well, Donegal struggled at stages in the first half. I thought they struggled with Dara Canavan, who once he gets his end product right, I think he's going to be a phenomenal footballer. I mean, he has the pace, he has the flair, the tricks, strength-wise, very good, very hard player to knock off the ball. Once he can start contributing more points and goals and starting to take his chances, I think we could see a serious footballer there. Kieran Lynch with a comment who says Paul Donaghy isn't playing well for Tyrone. I think Lee Brennan should start instead. Yeah, look, Paul Donaghy obviously done very well at club level with Dungannon, I think it was. There, I remember a couple of years ago, came into the team last year, looked like a top-class footballer. And look, still very, very young, a lot of years ahead of him. No doubt he can definitely go on and become the footballer that Tyrone fans feel that he can become. So early days yet. Look, some lads have bad days and whatnot. But Lee Brennan, like, he's another player, obviously, with Tralee, who, you know, it hasn't really clicked for him yet with Tyrone. And if he could bring some of his club form into this Tyrone team, he would be brilliant. Kev McGinty there says, I agree, Kieran. I was disappointed with that second half performance. I was very surprised Monroe didn't take that goal chance. Well done to Donegal, though. They played very well. Yeah, and so Tyrone definitely did have a couple of goal chances in there, a couple of opportunities. I mean, Donegal nearly scored a goal for them at one stage as well, which was absolutely mental stuff, really. Talk about playing with fire at the back there, but they definitely had their opportunities as well. And I think for Tyrone, so far this year, I don't think they're getting enough from their forwards. You know, Darren McCurry's hit 5 points. Absolutely unbelievable performance, by the way, from Darren McCurry. Exceptional stuff. You know, I think the fact that he's continuing his all-star form that we seen last year, I think that's a huge positive for Tyrone. And, you know, when it gets to the championship and maybe when Tyrone start playing in Croke Park and all the rest in All-Ireland quarterfinals or semi-finals, having a player like Darren McCurry who has the ability to kick those kind of scores is absolutely brilliant. But other than that, they just probably haven't got enough from their forwards just yet. Like, no, as we were saying there, nothing from Paul Donaghy, nothing from Conor Moyler, who did look impressive at times, to be fair. I remember there was one stage he went around two players and ended up putting a ball wide, but probably needs a little bit more. Kieran McGeary, as Sharon Hegarty saying there as well. And even Noel Sludden didn't contribute with any points as well. Like from their starting 15, just two of their forwards scored, Darren McCurry and Darragh Canavan. Obviously, Colin McShane didn't start, and he came off the bench and kicked a point late on as well. And he looks like he's, you know, slowly kind of getting back to his best, obviously, having suffered injury problems. Michael McKernan hit 2 points from cornerback, and that was impressive stuff from him, or not from cornerback, but he had 2 points in there. So he was impressive indeed. But yeah, for Tyrone, a tough one. And Seamus Brady says there, big psychological win for Donegal without Murphy and Langan. The two O'Donnells, real finds for Donegal. They absolutely are. And, you know, they've been knocking on the door for quite a couple of years for St. Eunan's from what I heard. And Conor O'Donnell with 1-3, absolutely brilliant. And in around the middle as well, like Hugh McFadden, I thought was impressive. Ryan McEwen in there as well. Controlled the flow of the game, controlled the middle, and done a great job as well on that, I suppose, very good midfield in Con Kilpatrick and Brian Kennedy, who I thought who won the midfield battle, I think, in the first half. But as the game went on, I think Donegal started to get more and more of a hold of that influence. We'll actually throw some scores on the screen there. We'll get the Donegal scores on the screen there first of all. As you can see there, so this is provided from the Score BO app, handy app to have for all the games that are going on at the minute. And you'll see there Conor O'Donnell with 1-3, Paddy McBurty with 2 points, Shane O'Donnell with a point, Jason McGee with a point as well, Ryan McHugh with a point, and Sean Patton with a point as well. And then from the bench, you had, if I can get it there, you had Oisin Gallen, who came on with a score, and Jake McKelvey with an all-important goal right at the end, just to wrap the game up and really finish the game from there. For Tyrone, as we were saying there, like Darren McCurry with 5 points, but other than that, they just didn't really get enough from their forwards. Darragh Canavan with a point, Monroe with a point in there as well, Michael McKernan with 2 points, and coming off the bench, Richie Donnelly with a point and Colin McShane with a point as well. So, look, you know, is it all concern or time to hit the panic button for Tyrone? Absolutely not. Look, you know, those players will, I've no doubts they will improve. They will get better. It's always tough going away to Ballybofey. I don't think they've won there in quite a long time, Tyrone. So very difficult place to go on a Saturday night as well. Donegal fans going to be up for it. So not the end of the world. I don't think Tyrone have any real worries about relegation or anything like that. I think they have enough points on the board at the minute. And they probably realistically only need one win from their final 3 games to avoid relegation. But and that's, they might not even need that win, but they'll probably need something there, I'd imagine, especially if Dublin or depending on who wins between Dublin and Kildare tomorrow. For Donegal, look, I've criticised them a bit so far this year. They've looked laboured at different stages, but look, they've 5 points on the board after 4 games now, and that's impressive. 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. That's not too bad at all. And they've had some difficult games in there as well in terms of playing Mayo, Kerry, and obviously the All Ireland champions. So maybe I need to cut Donegal a little bit of slack a little bit, and definitely an opportunity potentially to get into a league final. It's definitely not impossible if they can pick up wins against Monaghan and maybe a Dublin in their next couple of games as well. Sharon Hegarty said it looked like in injury time Tyrone we're gonna turn the screw. But fair play to Donegal. Yeah, they found the resolve. They got the players coming off the bench. Tyrone just couldn't really get in behind Donegal in the closing minutes. They had a couple of half chances here or there, but someone else said there, Monroe, when he was going through there as well, like that was a huge goal chance, and I was surprised, to be honest, that he went for the point. I don't know if he did go for the point or maybe he was going for the goal and he just overhit it. I'm not sure, but that was a huge opportunity, and that could have been the turning point in the game. So Tyrone maybe just lacking that ruthlessness maybe in front of goal. You feel like a Dublin of a couple of years ago, or even a Dublin now, or a Kerry or a Mayo would go for goal there. They'd put their neck on the line, but wasn't meant to be. But yeah, big win for Donegal. They march on in the end with a 4-point victory in the end over Tyrone. If you could smash that like button as well, let me know you're enjoying the content on the channel. There will be a reaction out tomorrow after Kildare and Dublin. And plenty more reactions, podcasts, all the rest coming soon. So if you're new to the channel as well, if you could subscribe, do plenty of videos similar to this as well. And congratulations to Donegal, who undoubtedly will be very happy tonight.